For me, I think there have been two conversions in my life. I have had a conversion to faith, and that conversion to faith has led me to care for God's people and to share something of the good news of Christ with everybody that I can possibly share it with. My second conversion, which happened later, was a conversion also to the care of creation. So I think my eyes were opened when travelling around the world, and I saw firsthand how the effects of climate change affect the poorest of the poor around the world. My generation have been huge consumers, and a lot of us, myself included, have been huge consumers not realising the damage that we have done. We demand consumption, we demand things. People will therefore produce those things, and they will damage the environment to produce what we demand so that they can get income in to survive for themselves. And of course, all of that is thinking about today. Our consumption is thinking about today. Their producing of those goods is thinking about today, and so often we don't think about tomorrow. So what does that produce for tomorrow? It leaves a terrible legacy for the next generation. I was in Bihar recently, and we work with a pastor out there called Pastor Jose. As a church, we help fund some schools and some churches. And the recent flooding of that area has left many devastated. It's all actually part of the change in the climate. They've never seen anything like it. Their infrastructure wasn't built for it. As floods have come, their houses have been washed away, literally. I've seen Kenyan farmers who struggle. I've seen the crops that produce nothing. They don't come to fruition because they haven't got the water they need. I've seen the water in the wrong places that's done so much damage that it's washed everything away and there are no crops left. And the trouble is it's washed the soil away, and so there's no chance of doing crops for tomorrow. I've seen it affect so many individuals, and it's heartbreaking. I get the privilege of travelling around the world. I get the privilege of seeing these places. Not everybody does, unless we see them on television. But if we're honest, probably we watch them on TV and we're a bit tired of seeing them on TV. And when a starving somebody comes on television, we go make a cup of tea because it helps us cope with the pain that we see. Or we give a small financial gift. But actually, when you know these people and you know their names and you know their backgrounds and you know that this is affecting the income of Pelua, who can no longer grow his crops because his soil has been washed away. You know that it affects his family, and you know that that affects his wife, who's pregnant with a child. And when you know all of these, you think, oh my word, this is doing a huge amount of damage. So we're all created, male and female, in God's image. And I think God in creation, he creates everything in his image. So there's something of the image of God in creation. And when mankind fell, when we denied God, because he'd given us creation to care for, he didn't take creation away from us, but rather we took creation with us. So we've taken creation into the place of the fall. As God calls us to be messengers of the good news, the gospel, to help broken people find fulfillment and fullness in Christ, so he calls us to be part of the answer, to see creation recreated, and to care for this incredible, beautiful world that we live in. I actually think we're probably we're on borrowed time, but it is not too late. And for me, it's about we can do something now, and that's the good news. But it's about all of us doing something. We've learned what it means to live as a Christian, as one of Christ's people here on earth. And we, of the first fruits, are called to share that good news with others. And often we see that as a calling to share it with other individuals, but actually it's also a calling to share it with creation itself. And so it says that creation waits in eager expectation, isn't it? In eager expectation for what? For us, actually, I think. Not for the end of the world to come, but for us. Because when you care for creation, your eyes are open to more of the beauty of creation. And all of a sudden, that rich and satisfying life is found in the everyday, in the shape of the trees, in the beauty of the birds, in the wonder of the animals, in the incredible magnificence of the vast elephants down to the tiny ants, down to the sea creatures. Everything is seen in a different light. And that's John 10:10. That's I'm seeing things differently because I'm a Christian, because God's Spirit has awakened me. Me being the first fruits, I see the need of mankind, so I'm going to live in a different way. And I see the need of creation, so I'm going to act in a different way. Man, we should be the best news people on the planet, because that's our calling in life.